Welcome to Channel 6 Scoreboard, my Fountain Online edition, the award-winning Channel 6 Scoreboard, I might add. I'm joined with Spencer Griffin and J.D. Williams, and I'm your host, Kara Kellerman. We're here to talk about some football. Now, guys, what have you taken away now that the spring practice is over?
Defense isn't going to be a problem next year. That's something I took away from this. The offense looked about how I thought they would, but they did what I thought the offense did what they needed to do in this game. But the defense came out and just really showed me that they've got a lot of depth in there. The 6 defensive backs that are seniors now are going to be the key to this team, I think. I think we're going to be talking about that unit all year long. I don't think we're going to be talking about, the offensive units or any other defensive units. More than we're talking about these guys. I think passing is going to be a chore against this team. We know the Southland's got a lot of good passers. We know that offense can be offense is the way UCA is going to win these games, but defense is the way they're going to win a championship. They are going to come in. And I feel like now that this defense is up to that level that, the offense is up to, I think right now this team is looking really good in this last spring practice. Even though the offense, as I said, didn't do that well, you could take away some negatives from that. But just how well that defense did, this was a really great spring for these guys. And I think they've got a lot going forward.
Yeah, it was strange in that final purple-gray game. We saw it's cliche, but a tale of two halves. The offense started out so fast, and I thought, this is going to be a really high-scoring game. But then the defense, like you said, just stepped it up, especially with Amari Wallace. He led the team with 10 tackles and 1 tackle for loss, and as well as Ricky Wyatt with 9 tackles, 4 for loss, 1 sack, and 2 fumble recoveries, which is pretty outstanding. But offensively, it was nice to see some new receivers step up in light of some graduating the past year. And of those, I was really impressed with Desmond Lewis as well as Courtney Whitehead, both on opposite sides, on opposite teams. And I was impressed with the way they caught the ball, the way they ran. And really, overall, I thought they did well in the first half. And then, like we said, the second half proved some problems for the offense as well as some strengths for the defense. But overall, and you might be a little surprised at what I feel like shined the most, and I think it was special teams. I think our kickers, especially Eddie Kamara, I feel like there's a field goal. He can hit all of them. I feel like there's anywhere on the field, you get him out there, he's going to kick it and he's going to make it. And as well as the punting team, and it's a lot more crucial than some people think. Field position has a lot to do with the game. I thought they did really well. There was a couple of shanked punts, but that's to be expected. It's spring, it's early. We don't expect perfection right now, but yeah, the special teams, even though they didn't run special teams coverage, I still feel like they shine pretty well in the spring games.
Now, we're going to be spending a lot of time talking about this in the near future, but based on what you saw over the spring, how do you think the Bears are going to be doing in 2013?
Well, I think this team is setting up to do just as well as they did last year. That's, I think, where they're at now. They're about where they were last year, I think, and that's just in spring, so that's pretty amazing. I think the defense can, right now it's at a very high level. If they can keep it at this kind of level, keep teams scoring about 10 points a game, I would say, is what they're about their happy zone for, those really big games. They want a good defense performance. They can get that 10. They'll probably average about 20 through the year, but I think with that defense, the offense, there's not going to be as much put on the offense, and I think that's a blessing for this team because Winter can come out and the defense doesn't have to, the defense can do what they do, and Winter can just come out and do what he does, which is own the game, come in, be a leader, be that clutch fourth quarter guy. And if this team is close in the fourth quarter, I think that's all they need for success this year. If they're within 7, if they're within 10 going into a fourth, you can't count them out. They're probably going to come back. They're probably going to make some noise. So I would say UCA going into next year is looking like one of the SLC favorites at this point. Sam Houston's always going to have something to say about that. That's going to be the final game here at Estes next year for the regular season. So that's going to be a huge game for the SLC. So I think right now UCA going into that game, I bet they don't even lose at that point to a FCS team. I think they're going to go through this schedule. I think they're going to go through the Southland. And I think they're really, at this point, I'm thinking if they improve like I think they will, they could probably even get a win in that postseason. We can finally start getting some headway and get closer to that final championship game.
I'm going to go even one further. I think they might be able to beat Colorado. I know it's a D1 school, but we've seen UCA put on a show in some of those games before, and Colorado pretty weak last year. But, I guess we'll just see what happens. But, yeah, I think they're definitely the Southland Conference favorites right now. And, Sam Houston would debate that. But I think that they have a great chance to go undefeated even in the Southland Conference if they wanted to. I mean, like you said, that defense is just so good, and I'm so surprised with the absence of Seth Allison that they have been able to do this good. I thought Seth Allison was really the key piece of their defense, and with him gone, I didn't know what was going to happen. But there's been some players stepping up, and with both quarterbacks playing extremely well, the receiving core is getting it together, defense looking strong, and you got the kicking game that's always been there. It's just going to be hard to beat a team like that. I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. I see them sitting atop the Southland Conference when all is said and done.
Yeah, if they roll into Boulder and beat in Colorado, that would be. That's kind of weird to say. It's going to be one of the biggest wins for your team, but you're beating a team that's in the Pac-12, in the bottom of the Pac-12. But still, if they're able to roll in there into Colorado, the sky is the limit for this team. If they end up beating Colorado, come call me. I'll probably tell you they're about to win a championship because if UCA, as you said, they've made a show of that. They went to Hawaii. They went to Louisiana Tech. They've made big games at this. Ole Miss, they had a good first half. And, Coach Conn can finally get that win over a big FBS team. Got the win against Western Kentucky. Let's see if we can't go to Colorado and get another notch on that belt for UCA.
Yeah, it's definitely a bold prediction, but, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility.
Hey, I'm definitely liking the optimism around the table for sure. I hope they show out like y'all plan on them doing.
We don't invite AJ one week, and the optimism just goes up for this team.
It's a very confident table right here. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode of Channel 6 Scoreboard. Thanks for joining us.